Hey pilots, DrainMan here, and today I've got a very special video. In today's video, we are checking out the all-new BrotherHobby Hyperbola. No, it is not a new motor. It is a brand new ready-to-fly drone by BrotherHobby. They do not normally make ready-to-flies or BNFs or PNPs. They make motors. So to actually see a ready-to-fly drone from BrotherHobby, I'm kind of excited. I know they've got a skateboard, but this will be the first time that they've actually dibbled and dabbled inside of the drone world, actually building a drone. I'm curious to see, is it up to par? Is the idea cool? Is it gonna fly good? Is it gonna look good? How's the electronics? I mean, let's find out. Is the only thing good on it gonna be the motors because all they make is motors? Or do they just subcontract out everything and they put their motors on it? I mean, I don't know, but we need to find out. We're gonna find out today by diving into this Hyperbola right here. But first, we need to talk about the name of this drone. We're going to call it the Hyperbola. And that's just assuming that I'm pronouncing it correctly. But a Hyperbola, which is this little symbol that you're seeing right here. See that symbol? That is a hyperbola symbol, and it actually represents two curves that are in an infinite bow, and that's what we've decided to name the quadcopter after. I mean, it's unique and it's original, but I don't know how the name actually feels rolling off my tongue. Hey, I'm gonna go fly my Hyperbola. What are you gonna be flying today? Well, me, I'm gonna fly my Apex. Well, I brought my Hyperbola with me. I don't know. Let's find out. Let's go. All right, pilots, so diving right in to the Hyperbola, we open up the box, and inside we've got ourselves a set of props, and we have got a cool... Oh wow, that's kind of nice. All right, we've got ourselves a quadcopter. And what else is in here? We got some instructions? No. We got any spare parts? No. Okay. Well, we've got a quadcopter, and we have got, oh, there's more inside of here. Aha. It's not just propellers. Let's see what we got. Okay. So we've actually got inside of here prop screws, and we've got some other things too, like stack screws and some nuts and washers, and we've got some standoffs, I guess, in case we're going to rebuild the stack that's already in there. And you got one spare standoff, which I'm assuming is for this back standoff that's right here. But they've given us prop screws, and we got to have prop screws because the type of motors that are on here, and that's okay. But I'm seeing 8 prop screws, and I'm seeing 4 motors, and I'm seeing 4 holes on each motor. 4 times 4 is 16. Why would you give us only 8 screws? I don't know. We'll get into that a little bit more. I know that you can put the propeller on with only 2, but what if I lose one? What if I want to really put it on and I want to put on all 4 screws? I guess I can't. Before we get into this too much, we do need to discuss this cool looking canopy. The color choice I'm absolutely in love with. I think this is a beautiful baby teal bluish, and then they matched it with the Forever tube caps in the same color. That looks really nice, and then you've got the black. Now, one good perk that I do see about having a 3D printed canopy is that if you have access to a 3D printer, or you know somebody who has a 3D printer, you could just print yourself a new canopy. If you've got a little bit of 3D designing, a little bit of Fusion 360 skills, you can go ahead and put yourself on a new canopy or maybe print a whole new idea. Now, normally these canopies come in what's called TPU. This canopy here, it's definitely not TPU. It's going to be either PLA or PETG. I'm not exactly sure. I'm leaning more towards PLA, but who knows. Now, what makes this drone so expensive? This is not a budget quadcopter by any means. $268 for an analog ready to fly. I mean, this thing better pack a punch. So let's talk about the actual frame, because this is important. This frame is very, very thin. It is very small. They have milled out the actual arms to possibly make the drone lighter, or maybe add a little bit of coolness to it. I don't know, maybe a little bit of style to go with it. But as far as actual integrity, it is not going to make this drone any stronger. I mean, that is just going to make the frame that much more flimsy. But at the same token, if it's super, super light, it might not matter too much. If we talk about the size of this drone, it comes in at about 146 grams, and that is straight out of the box, no battery. So depending on the battery that you choose to put on here, is going to play a very large role. So when they're selling this drone, they're labeling it and they're saying, okay, if you're flying a 650, then you are a pro pilot. If you are flying a 750, then you're an intermediate pilot. And if you're flying an 850, which is a heavier battery, it's not about speed or anything like that. It's just about the fact that the battery is lighter, the drone goes faster, your flight time's shorter, but hey, you're gonna fly that much harder. And this is not a freestyle quad. It is not meant to be a big, heavy, bulky, strong drone. It's meant to be a light little toothpick style drone, but yet still be 5-inch. So I think a proper drone to put up against this, rather than like a Apex or put something big up against it and say, huh, you know, here's my Banggod nice and strong, and here is my Hyperbola. No, that's not what we're doing here. If we want to put this up against a drone, let me show you something. Wonderful. We are going to put this up against something like this, and this is actually the lightest 5-inch frame that I've possibly ever come across. This is the Druckbar 5-inch ultra, I think it's the 4 ultra light frame. I mean, this thing is like 120 grams soaking wet. I built this. I have a video on it. If you're curious, check it out. I'll put a link. I'll even throw a card up there for you. Check that out. That's a really cool video on a really cool drone if you're into this kind of stuff. So this drone is mimicking that style. I mean, the arms are definitely much thicker. It's definitely going to be a little bit more heavy, but it is the same idea. And it's also, I'm pretty sure, if I was to give this thing a little bend, whoa, okay, that is kind of, oh my goodness, that is kind of not okay how flexible that is. But like I said, it's a light drone. It's made to be light. I don't think these motors are going to be that powerful that you're really going to have to worry too much. And you've got yourself a stubby antenna on here. It's got an analog VTX. It's got the MT Mini by HDLRC. It is a 600 milliwatt VTX, so you're not going to have to worry about your range. You should be fine. As far as these motors go, these are 2004s. I know you're eyeballing these up and down. These are a 2004. What does that mean? That means that this motor is 20 millimeters this way and only 4 millimeters this way. So this is a really cool looking motor. What I'm not happy about is the style of propeller. So you have different types of propellers. You got your regular M5 nut propellers, and then you've got your screw type, T-type propellers like this. Well, Hurricane just came out with the all-new SL5125. It's actually a 5.1 propeller with 25 low pitch, but the SL stands for super light. But if I pull this propeller out, you can see, I mean, this is just close to literally, it's going to be hard to see, but this is like close to nothing how thin this is. This is just the most ever bittest, thinnest of plastic. I mean, if you wanted to save money on plastic, this would be the propeller to do it. I mean, look at this. Look at that. You ain't doing that with another one and then it goes right back to shape. This stuff is super thin, and these are going to be literally the perfect propeller for this quadcopter. Now, by the way, these SL5125s do allow you to run them on the original M5 nut screw type. Look at that. You just slide it on, and it's like it never did fit on a different style like this one, but it actually does. And that's what's really cool. And what happens is when you put it on this drone, so if you're purchasing this drone, you would put one screw in, and then you would slide this in, and you would drive your other screw in, and it would snug it down and hold it. And you can run it with 2 screws. I was just giving them a hard time. We've got just a regular Caddx camera on it, nothing special. If you look underneath, you can actually see that it's a yellow color, which does not match at all, and you know how I feel about that. You do have a specified amount. You're not going to be able to go any higher than that, and you're not going to be able to go any lower than that. But I can tell you right now, that's a perfect ratio. You will not need to go outside of that. All right, they did put some nice sleeving over the motor wires, so when you do bust the prop and you do shoot down, your propeller strikes won't be that bad. It'll just and hit this up and hopefully not damage anything at all. All right, now you do get a battery strap cushioner support lander installer deal. Not sure the name of this. This is just basically a piece of carbon is what it looks like and some foam on it. Oh, that brings me to a quick point. I would think that a drone of this size would take an XT30. I stand corrected. It is an XT60. And they threw a capacitor right here just to get you a little bit of capacitance going. Try to help out, ease some of the noise and stuff like that. Let's go ahead and strap this battery up and let's see what it looks like. I mean, that could potentially be extremely annoying. All right. Anyways, that's the idea. You're going to have to take the time to lay it out for the correct battery for you, so that way this is centered and looking good. But there you go. That is what that pad's for. So now you can do belly lands and it ain't going to hurt nothing because you've got cushion and you've got a piece of carbon under your battery keeping you nice and strong. All right, and something I want to do is I want to go ahead and I want to take this top plate off real quick. One thing that might be a nice surprise for you, which I don't know how I feel about it, is the screws holding this frame together are actually a Phillip head screw. They are not hex. They're not 1.5 or 2 mm or 2.5, which is what I have. It's what I like. It's what I use. I'm just not familiar with this. All right, so I was able to pop this hood. Okay, so it looks like if you have some M2 screws, let me show you right here. Looks like if you have some M2 screws with maybe a 1.5 head, you could change the screws. You don't have to roll with what they have here. All right, so there we go. If we pop the hood, you'll see right away, you can see the FR Sky antenna coming over. You can see the MT VTX. Here in the middle, there's a just a blank maybe fiberglass or plexiglass plate right here. And the only purpose that that's serving is just mounting for your receiver. And your receiver is nothing more than just an XM Plus by FR Sky. It's nothing special. So the entire magic of this entire quadcopter is actually coming from this one board right here. And this is actually a AIO, or an all-in-one. And what that is this board is everything. It is the alpha, the omega, it is everything except for the VTX and the receiver. So basically you solder your motors up to it, you connect your VTX and your receiver to it, and now you've got your ESC covered, you got your flight controller, you've got everything covered all under that one board, and that is the Zeus 35 by HGLRC. So other than the Caddx camera, the BrotherHobby motors, we see everything as a HGLRC quadcopter. That's what the stack is, because the board is nothing more than a flight controller, ESC in one, and then you've got also the VTX, which is also an HGLRC VTX. And this is a nice VTX, don't get me wrong. It's got all the features you could ask for, including smart audio, you've got onboard microphone. I mean, you've got everything you could ever ask for. From that VTX, you got a little button that sticks out the side when the canopy's on, and you can press it to change your channels, or you can just set up the smart audio and you can do it like that. You've got a flight controller that has all kinds of stuff. You've got your current sensing. You've got everything that you could ask for from that board. It's only one board, so if you break an ESC or you break a flight controller, you pop a FET, if you do anything on that one board, you'll be replacing it, and that board is 60 bucks. This thing is pretty freaking wicked. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to slap the screws back in it, and we're going to wrap this up. All right, pilots, putting the canopy back on was actually extremely simple and easy. I laid it upside down. I sunk the screws in. They went right in. That was great. That made it very user friendly. If I need to pop the top and do some stuff under the hood, hey, that's pretty cool. I'm not going to complain there. All right, pilots, I think that I've pretty much gone over everything on this drone. This is not a big, mean, bad racing drone. It's not. It's a small sub-250 lightweight racer. It's a whole different flight feel. Everything about this drone is designed a different way than what you're used to. It's got HGLRC components. That's a great company. They make a lot of products. They've got F7s, F4s, they've got ESCs. I mean, they make a lot of stuff. They've even got their own motor line. So they do not mess around, and then they went ahead and they teamed up with BrotherHobby, and they produced this really nice drone. I'm excited to take it to the field. I think it's going to be great. I'm going to have a lot of fun with it. I need to be careful with my crashing. Although you think of this light, kind of flimsy frame and build style, keep in mind when it crashes, it's not 600 grams with a big old heavy battery on top slamming into the ground. It's just this light little thing that falls out of the sky. It's just like a whoop. You think of a whoop. A whoop is very flimsy. They break easy. But a whoop is also very light, so when it crashes, it doesn't hit as hard. How does that go? The bigger they are, the harder they fall. That applies right here with this drone right here being lightweight. When it crashes, you're going to do fine. All right, pilots, next step, we'll set this thing up in beta flight. We'll take it to the field. We'll take it for a spin. That'll have to be in the next video. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you guys will go out and get you some infinite bows of Hyperbola and enjoy this thing. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you on the next one.